I'm going to go for the 1 minute mark, everybody. Let everybody log on, so give it a minute. I guess I'll go on the 1 minute mark. Okay, there people are starting to come in. Hi, we're just going to give it that minute. It always takes a minute to let people log on. I'll let the room come in as much as it's going to be, and then I'll start. People are starting to come. Like I said, people catch it in the review anyway. I'll minimize that. So folks, a lot happened today. Justin Trudeau met with King Charles III. They had a lot to talk about. I don't think people realize really what's at stake here. I'm going to do another monologue as best I can. I'm not a Hollywood actor, of course. If I had somebody at that capability, I would. But I'm trying something to reach different audiences, and we're going to go through it. And it's basically legal speak of what's going on behind the scenes. Again, with the opium empire, the red flag Trudeau has on fentanyl, all opiates, the history of that we're going to get into. And of course, the financial sector, Canada's financial system, the service sector industry that benefits the UK extremely well in euro. You should all go look at that. And meanwhile, while they supposedly give us services we need, apparently we can't give them to ourselves. We need to be under their reign. And Donald Trump goes, what? And the people eat the inflation? Americans don't eat the inflation. The lenders do. But not in the Crown model, not in our system. We, the subjects, eat the inflation. And with that, the banks have grown large and in charge. They're actually very strong in the United States. But you know what you don't find? Those same American institutions inside any of that in the highest rank of banks in the country on the federal level. The 5 chartered banks. And of course, you see where they rule the roost. They're all through the UK. They're also all through the colonial world. And of course, 2 of their main stops are where? Opium Central China, Opium Central India. And these banks, at least 3, have grown large in the United States. How could they do that with such a small base? How could they grow? Well, 1, subsidization from the subjects, because American institutions eat the inflation. Number 2, the drug trade, opium, allowing people with duffel bags, laundered money and all of it, drug money, to open up accounts. And there's been a lot of that. So without further ado, I hope a lot of people are logged in. I can't see. But I'm going to give you this monologue as it would be with Charles speaking to Trudeau today. And this is how I feel it would be in their sick, twisted world. It's important for people to understand that. So wish me luck here. Damn you, Trudeau, my First Lord Minister. You must crack the whip of royalty in the face of the Yankee, Donald J. Trump. Take this, my excrement from my loins, and spray him in the face. We must not lose our poppycock empire and financial grip over the subjugated world. Blasted Trump threatens our hold over all subjects and savages. You must never let him and his American equality shatter our League of Nations. The 9 kingdoms with the Palace of Nations NGOs must continue the globalist, socialist and fascist rule. Now, damn you, Trudeau, pledge yourself to the WHO, WEF and IMO. Do it now, man. So I hope people got a kick out of that. Like I said, I did the best I could. I'm nobody's Hollywood. But I want to continue in where I left off here, everybody. So Trudeau met with Charles all over this threat from Trump, the 51st state. Let's get some things out of the way right now for everybody. If you didn't know this, the evil of the UN is largely attributed to the 9 kingdoms with still far-ranging colonial assets. Canada is one of those still colonial assets of the UK. We're united. This is just one kingdom. It may be the most powerful and largest kingdom, but it's 54 nations now, soon to be just 52, as some are fractured. They're getting there. Will they get true independence? I can't verify that, honestly. And I have 2 of the best world experts working on that with the governments. They're doing the constitutionalism. We still don't know. And literally, I'm good friends with the 2 academics hired by those 2 crown governments to break the crown. And we still don't know if they're going to breach the Commonwealth nations, meaning are they still subject to the Commonwealth Charter 2012, which really uproots everything, forces nations like Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and many, many more. Many, many more. Again, it's 54, soon to be 52 here, but will they break that grip of a treaty? You know, Trump likes to do treaties. Well, this old bastard and his family, they have treaties too, folks, and they've got everybody under a treaty of the Green New Deal, it's called. It's very old. It started in 2012. Charles is able to corrupt President Joe Biden. He had Joe Biden sign a new charter and, in fact, rip up an historic World War treaty called the Atlantic Charter 1941, the Allies Charter created by this former Soviet Union and the United States of America. That no, there wouldn't be subjugation, there wouldn't be people called savages in the world. And they created a charter, but bad actors, largely from the 9 kingdoms. France is still in there, they still have colonial assets, no different than Charles. But I'm Canadian, and for the purpose of this video, I just want everybody to know there are 9 kingdoms still today. They have all colonial assets. This is your NGOs, the corruption of the UN. And what Charles has done has transferred the crown, his family, it's his crest, it's a very old crest, transferred it to Canada, yes, in 1931. And then we saw other amendments. That's not the only one. We saw another change in the 50s. Then we saw in 1982. But they gave the crown power to whomever holds prime minister through a governor general. It's a sneak thief in the night. We never really moved anything. And of course, that governor general and prime minister are codified under Charles's laws. He's one of those nations. It's his laws, just like the Constitution says. It's still that way today. This is where you find the codification of prime minister. They say, well, it's not in the Constitution. Well, it is. It's just from what they call they try to make it like American, but it's not true. They call it conventions. But it's conventions of kings, not conventions of people coming together with delegates for and by the people. That never happens in any of these 9 kingdoms. It's an autocracy. And Charles, 200 years ago, created his family, his ancestors, under the title of Emperor of India, Supreme Ruler of Hong Kong, and many parts of China. This is where all the opium is, folks. It was a war of his family against China and India. And guess what? They lost. Charles is an heir of several monarchs, female and male. There was Edward VII, celebrated right here in Canada. You go to Toronto, Queen's Park. Many people see the man on a giant horse. They never ever look into Emperor Edward VII. Brutal history, completely socialist and fascist. The birth of absolutely the Opium Empire. And when you go back in that 200 plus years of war over controlling opium, his family is the global drug dealer, drug central. And when Donald J. Trump looked at that, then started looking at the financial system that's corrupted the financial system of the United States of America and its district system. And to really explain this and hit it home, folks, what Donald J. Trump's really upset about, not just the drugs, it's the financial power. So in the United States, they have a 12 district banking system. They have all this overlapping district system of checks and balances. Banks in the United States must register their head office in one of the districts. They're governed under a district system, watched. They can't get other districts. How scary this is TD is in multiple districts in the United States. It's the only institution. And as well as who else? CIBC, Bank of Montreal. These are chartered banks, chartered through Lord Minister. That is your Prime Minister. That's through Charles. And you'll find TD has a head office in London, UK, two of them. In fact, then they got India, and absolutely they've got China. Right in the heart of both those countries, opium empire created by the royal family. 200 years old, killed many people to force that to happen. Many atrocities, pure on genocide. But in that old world, under the Palace of Nations, there were no human rights. And I warned people about jumping on the bandwagon of hating the UN. That's not Donald Trump's UN, not the United States UN. They're the United Nations Security Council. They have a charter. The evil UN is under the Palace of Nations. Again, I'm going to say this. United Nations. NGOs have no business in the United Nations. How are they getting in there? Through the corruption of these crown colonial countries like Canada. Canada has one of those NGOs there. They created their own that was voted down and unbinded by the Allies of World War II. Any one of them can say, no, sorry, this can't be international law. It's not a law of the UN. All of them. This is WHO, WEF, IOM, IMO, and we can go on and on. There's 26. You've heard of Sustainable Development Goals. You know Agenda 2050. 2021 was the first. Paris before that, and on and on. These are all created in that Palace of Nations by no less than 26, 28 of these NGOs, non-governmental organizations that have deep roots and are registered with all of these 9 kingdoms, mostly in London, in fact, London, England. And we all keep blaming the UN, but this is the corruption of the UN because all of those NGOs existed in a thing before the UN called the League of Nations. And subjects and savages was the global narrative. There was no human rights for anyone. Nobody. Trudeau's world's coming crashing down. He ran to Charles. What are we going to do? Canada's delivering fentanyl. They're legal. That's illegal in the United States immigration program. The 9 kingdoms are institutional in everything that went to South America, flown there. They have a whole underground illegal railroad, all tied to all of their immigration programs through the IOM. And when all these nations filled to the brim, they launched that attack on USA because USA truly is the last bastion of hope. So all of these kingdoms, led by Charles, really, and it don't matter. Charles dies, his heir and successor will take over. Canada's constitution says whoever the heir and successor is, it's right in your opening introduction to the Canadian Constitution. Never dismembered, never amended, never stricken from the record. It's always there as the highest laws of our land. The United States, their constitution says, we the people. You all know this. But in our Constitution, it's this guy, his family. Right now it's King Charles. When he dies, his successor will place him in the legislation. That's how it works. And to their great betterment. So this financial sector, the USA does not put inflation on the American people. It's understood by those who get into banking in the United States. It's why they're not very strong comparatively to other banking institutions, because they must eat the inflation, not the American people. It's why the Americans don't have a housing crisis. There's so many things about America that don't exist. Why inflation doesn't ramp up as bad as it is in Canada. Housing prices off the chart. Land values off the chart. You can't even compare them in the United States. I can take you to British Columbia, East Vancouver, and a normal small acreage, double attached garage, $3.5 to $9 million. And then I go to California, the Sunshine Coast, beautiful, overlooking a cliff onto a massive oceanfront view. And of course, massive acres. And the place has 12-car garage. That's where you get into this equivalent $9 million. And it's like, how is that even possible? I should have took notifications off. But folks, this is really the evil of it. It's what Donald J. Trump's challenging, where tariffs are going. And they want to beat the hell out of all of you. That's their system, their game. Their idea is we must not let Trump decolonize Canada. We've got to trick and propagate to all Canadians. And you've already seen many are the usual cheerleaders for all the parties. If you didn't think that Pierre Poilievre's on board with this, I can tell you he is. Donald Trump has known this all along. He's told you in all his social media posts, well, I don't care about the other guy. He knows they're all rotten. He's got a file on all of them 10 miles thick. And I'm sorry, but you know what? Maxime Bernier's there too. If I can find it in the records, I promise you that 215-member Trump administration with all of their great minds, I'm just one guy, and I know I'm not alone here, especially as patriots in Canada who fight these things, fight for the truth. We're not alone. But if we can find these public records and showcase them like I have been for years, I promise you the Americans already have all of it. I know that because literally whatever I roll out, it's been rightly put up by the Trump admin, and they already know. I already had American academics correct me on things and say, hey, you missed this. Oh, by the way, I know you don't know this. We can't help you to this. We'd have to charge you money. You'd have to come to America, but we can give you a hint. Hope, and they have hope that you'll figure it out, and I did, and I'm happy about that. I understand what Prime Minister is now. I thought it was something locked away in our Privy Council archives somewhere in Canada that we'd have to take it in order to get access to it, but it's not. It's all found in the United Kingdom and France, who's a dirty shirt too. Many are Spain, Portugal, Denmark, Norway, Sweden, Germany was. They still play in the game, but they're nothing like they were. Japan was. They're not like they were. Absolutely, those Middle East crown countries are still there as the guise of the Ottoman Empire. And we can go on and on. I know I've missed a few on the list. It's 9, but they're there. And they're the evil of the UN. They're always doing battle against the United Nations Security Council, who wakes up routinely. And sadly, UK and France really should not be there, not as they're codified and not as they hold assets. And I think, at least with the Donald J. Trump administration, they're seeing that Charles and his conservatives, who's now the Labour Party, again, it doesn't matter. They're just like Canada. All birds on the same, all wings on the same bird. Doesn't matter what the color feather is. It's the same thing in the UK because we're modeled the same way. They all pledge to him. They all support him and their narrative of superior human beings who are gods over everybody else. Canada allows UK, again, at a tremendous amount to run our services sectors, financial, while we give them all of our top resources, gold, diamonds, everything. America sees this. They're going, what is this? What is this? These guys, UK, get all these deals, and they're not alone. France gets it too in their organizations, but they come into Canada with some cockamamie services that, you know what, we can do our own banking. You're making our bankers rich overseas and absolutely corrupting the United States of America to destroy it. And Trump sees it. Not, like I said, this is provable, but that it's at least 3 of our chartered banks are in the United States, corrupting the United States. It's criminal. And we've even seen chartered persons, even those with allodial titles from the monarchy. We've watched Sunrise Media, Conrad Black, be prosecuted. We've seen many of them. The United States is waking up. Trump has woken up to the double cross, double speak. Whatever's happened here in these 4 years break, he kept it under his hat. They all did. And I know that because I never got an answer back. They were active in the first administration with me. I thought, well, you know, and then the new election, I thought, well, now let's get it all started. It never ended, folks. It never ended. All my stuff went through, whether I knew it or not, and it's showcased. It's showing. Trudeau's going to beat us real bad. Tariffs start here. I don't know if that's at 12:01 a.m. tonight, 1 minute after midnight, or if it's going to be 1 minute after tomorrow night at midnight. I don't know. I guess we'll see that. I don't know what Trump's going to decide, but I know this is what he's fighting. This is what you all need to share and get out there. It's important to know. My longtime followers and friends, on my timeline is all the evidence. I don't sugarcoat it. I don't hide it. It's all published by our government. You can look this up yourself. You can look up all references to our CSIS. It's supposed to be the CIA, like the CIA, but they're sworn to. Now, they have to report, they have to publish, but they can't arrest, and certainly they can't bring it forward to the prosecutor's office because the prosecutors are all sworn to. They can't prosecute. This is what's wrong with Canada. In the United States of America, you can prosecute. So I'm getting messages here. I need this shared out. Everybody get it out. There's going to be big updates too with our party as I've gotten a good start on our database. So I'm going to start with 2 people who've been vetted, signed all their paperwork, including non-disclosure agreements. Those ladies, they're here in Canada, are vetted. I'm going to make a post about that later on tonight. And I'm going to get them working to find volunteers, get everybody sorted out slowly. It's going to take some time, but it should be done within, I would say, the next month, possibly 2. So we'll have everybody sorted out. We're going to see what happens. Obviously, if things become push to shove and we need to run because of a writ drop, we're going to have to abandon a lot and just go with the 338 we have. But we're not there yet, and I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep going and keep it as organized as possible and try to meet the 2,000 because this will be the stage. This will be the education that all Canadians and any American who wants to look at will be able to see. So God bless you all. Share, share, share. Get it out there. You know, I did my best. I'm not an actor, but that's really how these people think, and that's what their ideas are, and this is what Trump knows it to be, and the GOP. Americans aren't stupid anymore. They're waking up. God bless. Bye now.